Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Code Realize Future Blessings. It's really hard to not say. I swear I feel like I said Guardian of Rebirth in one of these, but I may not have. I don't know. I'm sure you guys will point it out if I did. Well, we are starting Saint Germain's route today. Yay! Or obviously his epilogue story. So, yay, this will probably be a couple parts because they've been about 3 hours each. And then we're on to Lupin. And then what I think we'll do is we'll do the Lupin's gang story. We'll do Sholmes's route. And then we'll do Finis's last. Because the third game is, I'm pretty sure, continues where this leaves off. So I feel like that would be a logical endpoint. Not that it really makes a difference, but just for the sake of, continuing. Of course, there is the Deli's room stuff, so we'll do that after Finish just to make sure we've unlocked all of it. So, I mean, that will technically be after this, but whatever. As for the stuff in the main game. All right, so let's start Saint Germain's route / story / whatever. Let us say you might shoulder a particular fate to guide mankind unto its proper path through history. Should you agree, I will grant you one wish. I'm not sure if that was someone speaking to Saint Germain. Oh my God. This must be when he became. Oh, dude, we got a CG right off the bat because this was not. And this is obviously when he becomes an apostle for idea. Oh, even all bruised and bloody and dying, he's so pretty. And he's just the sadness in his eyes, but the little smirk on his lips. Oh, poor baby. He tried to stab us, but it's cool. Death noises. You ask me to barter my soul in exchange for my life? Am I wrong? You offer a deal with the devil and somebody else. I'm assuming that would be Omnibus. Why are we know it's Saint Germain, so why are they giving us question marks? Anyway, I'm going to assume that this would be Omnibus talking to him, but because he brought in Guinevere, so.
Call it what you wish. For one lacking faith, what difference is there betwixt God and devil?
Despite my circumstances, I had intended the question as sarcasm. Oh, well, maybe that was supposed to be him. I don't know. I think it's really weird that we know it's Saint Germain and they don't give you when he's talking versus whoever he's talking to. You know what I mean? The self-proclaimed messenger of fate to whom I spoke responded calmly, seeming not to notice or care. I mean, I would assume this is Saint Germain. It's really confusing. We know it's Saint Germain talking to them, so why can't they give us his name? That's what I don't understand. Anyway, I suppose it matters little whether you be a god or a demon. It's really hard to do his gentle, normal, quiet voice, like struggling with pain. Just from wherever you may hail, my wound offers no choice but to place my faith in your offer. Blood poured from my lips, yet I still managed a dry laugh. My surroundings were strewn with piles of rubble as far as the eye could see. Like, what happened to him? It was the end of the labor I had been bound to my entire life. I had been a slave as long as I could remember, cutting, hauling, and stacking stones in service to a vainglorious king. Oh, the sacred tower was soon to be complete, but it now lay in ruins as if it had been an affront to the gods. Perhaps it was. It had been destroyed by the self-proclaimed guardian of history who stood over me. So, okay, so the king is, making this great tower in honor of himself, obviously, and Idea's like, nah, bitch, nah, and knocks it down, but why would you kill? It's not his fault. It's not fucking poor, it's not any of the people that were forced to build this. It's not the slave's fault that the king is a douche, but yet you probably killed a fuck ton of people. I mean, yes, you're gonna give Saint Germain a second chance, but, man, that's cold. It's not his fault.
No choice. This is not so, nameless slave child. There is another path you might take.
Another path?
brush away my hand and die here. Is that most pleasant choice not also available to you?
That is no choice at all. Oh, so it's not Omnibus, it's some dude. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Oops. I get that they have to name that person nameless, but they could tell us when it's fucking Saint Germain talking. This is really confusing. Sorry. If he was toying with me, I did not find it amusing. Okay, so it's not Omnibus. Sorry. But I'm also having a hard time figuring out who's talking when, but disregarding my baleful glare, the man simply extended his hand. Okay, so we fucked this up royally, but whatever. In any event, you have been chosen as a potential vessel for the curse of immortality. This is fact. The man loomed over my broken body, waiting for me to seize the fate he offered. Come, you must make the choice. I prefer it to be Omnibus, I really do. I know she, is in a wheelchair and not standing, but, back in the heyday, maybe she could, I don't know. If you have a wish you would see fulfilled through your mortal body, though your mortal body may die, take my hand. A wish. A word I was unaccustomed to hearing. Again, I chuckled bitterly. It was not just at this moment. Never in my life had I been permitted to wish for or choose anything. Well, you could have wished for stuff, it just wasn't gonna ever happen. He's so pretty. My family, my friends, even my own life, such as it was. The moment I was born a slave, it was predetermined that all I knew would be the property of the king. That is why I had never wished, why I had never hoped. I expected nothing of fate but cruelty. Oh, but if I might truly be granted my first and final wish, look at his face, guys. I sighed, releasing a spray of blood, and took the hand that fate offered me. Someday Oh my god, so we don't know what it is? I see. So that is your wish. By my name, then, your wish has been. Oh, Tim. Tim's getting all up in this shit again. Your wish has been duly heard. We really fucked that part up, not knowing who was talking when. And we are the guardians of history, shepherds of the world, sojourners through time, bound in the goal of immortality. From this day forth, you are an apostle of idea. I know that should be probably them telling him, but I'm just gonna go with that was just him remembering what they were saying to him, because we know it was Saint Germain, so I don't know why they had to have his part all question marked. We know it's him. I'm not dumb. We can say it's him. It's just really hard when they do that. I know we don't know who the other person is, and that's fine, question marks, but I really feel like they should have put, Saint Germain's name. But I guess it's because he doesn't have a name then. He wasn't Saint Germain. You know what I mean? He didn't have a name. He was nameless. But even still, as a slave, you'd think your parents would give you a name, not like, hey, you! You, no, not you, not you, you. No, not you, you! Yeah, that one. Because, they probably had more than one kid, so, kid. Boy, you. Oh, I don't know. Or unless they're basically saying you're so unimportant it doesn't matter what your name is. That's so sad and mean. Agents of destiny, shepherds of the world, and guardians of history. We ensure that those who dwell upon this earth do not stray from the proper path that history must record. We guide those born with the burden of original sin toward their righteous salvation. We, the members of an organization known as IDEA, have directed the flow of history since time before reckoning. I, Saint Germain, am an apostle of IDEA, so who gave him his name? Shepherding the world has a noble ring, but IDEA's guardianship of history is fraught with bloodshed. In quelling the flames of war, putting down rebellions, or eliminating the source of plagues, which we failed at. Sorry, honey, I'm sorry. Too soon. I have taken lives indiscriminately, even those of women and children. I can no longer hazard a guess as to how many. But I can say this. I have saved more lives than anyone else in the history of mankind, because he's been around for fucking forever. Yet I have also taken more than anyone who has ever walked the earth. Aw. For me, This assignment should have been little more than a trifle. But he fell in love with us. A man who had set one foot into the realm of the gods had created a monster, and I was to eliminate it. In comparison to raising a city or toppling a nation, it was rather a simple mission. Yeah, but see, when you're killing a whole bunch of people, you you're like, I'm raising a city. I just killed like 700 people. You don't get time to get attached to one I mean, he did in the case of that kid, but you know what I mean? It's a little bit easier to be like, it's just a you'd think it would be harder, like it's 500 people versus one, but you can get a connection to one person. It's really hard to get a connection to 500 people aside from it's 500 people and 500 people is more than one. You know what I mean? Aside from the logistics and the like, you talk, you spend time with her, if you have to kill like a city of 10,000 people, the chances of he got close to that one kid, right? Fucked up the plague, right? He didn't get close to everyone in the village, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to kill the village, right? He got close to one person, and that's what fucks it up. Because you get into their mind and their heart and their soul, and then you're like, I just created a bond with you. Fuck. That's the problem. That's his problem. He got too close. He let us in. Also, he's just a little sweetheart. Even though he's murdery. Whatever. That's what cults will do to you, man. Anyway. However, the target I was to eliminate could never have been termed a monster, for she was nothing more than a girl. This is your fault. Spending time together, living together. Even after she became aware I sought to take her life, her faith in me did not waver. Especially this part where he's like choking her. There's just so many mixed feelings about this. Cursed with a body riddled with poison and wholly innocent, she wished only to feel the warmth of another. Yet I had worn my false smile for millennia, murdering men beyond number. I wonder, then, which one of us should truly be labeled the monster? Perhaps that is why I could not bring myself to kill her. It was not that I merely found her circumstances pitiful. I could not think of her as a stranger. A vessel for the horologium, without need of a heart, a body riddled with toxins, deprived of human contact. Even burdened so, she refused to relinquish her human spirit, desperate to live life. To this constant murderer, donning his lifeless doll's mask every day, she was so pure as to be blinding. I was envious of how she managed to hold on to all I had thrown away. I found the authentic, guileless smile she wore for me precious. And that is why I became enchanted with her. Oh, enchanted. Oh, it's beautiful. This is how I want to live from now on, with you by my side. My beloved Spacey. I know, we're so awkward reading our names still. How long have we been playing these games? It's still fucking awkward. Always awkward. Hashtag forever awkward. The moment our love for one another became mutual, the broken clock that was my life slowly began to tick down once more. And it will continue to do so that I might live the same span as she. I'm wondering if Idea's going to come after us because we haven't got rid of the poison. Because that's like the whole thing, right? Is like, the whole deal was you have to find a way to get rid of her poison or we're going to kill her. So, wonder if that'll be like the main... Because like the main antagonistic thing in Victor was Idea coming after him and him having to make a decision and then like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then they were like, fine, whatever. Like, and then in Van Helsing's, it was literally just Van Helsing being Van Helsing. I'm like, I mean, Impey really wasn't anything. It was, fixing the submersible thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming this is Spacey now, but bright blue sky fills my entire field of vision. The ship rocks gently like a cradle, and the soft slap of waves against its hull tickles my ears. I lay half asleep on creaking boards, staring absent-mindedly at the sky. I wonder how many more days until we reach France. Oh, we're going to France? Cute. Ever since the standoff with Idea in London over the horologium, Saint Germain and I have been on a roundabout journey across Europe. Low countries of flat land stretching as far as the eye could see, a city built on water crisscrossed with canals, an entire country perched atop a sheer mountain range. A full year had passed as we visited and toured such wonderful lands. Okay, so why Victor got rid of her poison in all the other paths? Why can't Victor have done it in this one too? I mean, maybe he does. I don't know. I'm just curious. The times are many that I feel waves of nostalgia for the boisterous lives we had led with our friends in London, but so thrilling are the days we spend visiting exotic locales. My tripping heart rarely affords me the leisure of loneliness. But France is next. If we go just a bit further, we might be able to pop in through London. I say this aloud, now pining for the friends we spent so much time with. My eyelids grow heavy. I was like, why is the screen getting darker? Explains it. My eyelids grow heavy, and I make no effort to resist sleep's siren call. Lupin and Impey, who are reportedly still searching for something deeply important, Van Helsing and Delhi, who set out to locate surviving vampires, and last but certainly not least, Victor and Cece, who stayed in London. All of them are precious and irreplaceable to me. If we do have the chance to visit London after seeing France, I must tell them all about our travels. I wonder how they've all spent this past year. Preparing tea and cookies too, to share with them as we chat. And then we'd... As our minds slowly getting to sleep. I'm just kidding. I can't fake snore really well. Did he just kiss us awake? Oh, look. Oh, okay, honey. We've seen your eyes. Open them. Just don't even. Good morning, Spacey. The split-second sensation of softness, because he's okay with kissing us, even though he'll burn his flesh off. Then a sound that sends shivers down my spine, like the sizzle of broiling meat. The sweet yet terrible sensation I feel briefly on my lips tears me out of my reverie and back to reality. Saint Germain. I open my eyes and the sight of my beloved mischievously licking his lips snaps into view. Right now, did you just... Not again! I did. In all honesty, I thought strongly about exercising self-restraint, but as you drowsily nodded off, you were so adorable that it just happened. Things like that do not just happen. Oh dear, my apologies. Perhaps you would have preferred a bit more passion. That is not an issue. Unbelievable. I've told you how dangerous it is over and over. It's far from the first time we've had this conversation. Saint Germain has been acting this way since the start of our trip. He should know better than anyone that poison still courses through my body. Yet he always comes up with an excuse to touch me. I don't know exactly why, but it seems to make him happy. And it feels almost as though he's deliberately testing the toxin that envelops me. But if he's no longer immortal, wouldn't he actually melt instead of rehealing? Or was it... I really honestly forget if there was like a slowly going to become human, or, you know what I mean? Really? Ooh, the wink! A wink! Oh, please don't make that frightful face. I simply thought I'd check on things. You never know. You may suddenly wake up one morning to find yourself poison-free. That couldn't possibly... No. We really can't say. Miracles occur more frequently than you might imagine. And so I must check once more. This time I shall be more gentle, more thorough. Damn! Spicy. Saint Germain's lips draw closer. Though under the spell of his almost frighteningly coercive manner, I push him away and raise my voice. No means no! Let's not get rapey and now, Stabby McStabberson. Oh, this is the boat we were on with Impey, but reversed. Love it. I love how sometimes they just take the background and they just flip it to make it slightly different, and you're like, oh, it's totally different. It's a great way to reuse backgrounds, but it's cute. I like it. 5 minutes of lecturing later, after enduring my stern reproval, Saint Germain folds his arms across his chest and says, oh, I love it when his eyes are open. You're getting much better at skirting my advances. It seems I must devise a new approach with all haste. I'd really prefer you not devise anything. Saint Germain insists the regenerative powers granted by his former immortality remain, but my poison is truly dangerous. Saint Germain, past, a young man who left Idea to save the girl he loved. Just as he vowed to Omnibus, he travels the world to find a way for the girl to live without the horologium. Seeing him smile without any hint of hesitation, I grow even more concerned about how to handle things. Whew. I wonder if there isn't any way to make him restrain himself. My deep sigh is interrupted by a voice calling out from across the deck. Oh, ain't that the young miss from the galley? Thanks for your help back there. You saved us, you did. The galley. I love it when his eyes are open. God, I just do. It's not our. This is the secret Saint Germain. The Saint Germain only for us. Like when he's around the guys, he's like, and I'm back to having my eyes completely closed. Like that should have warned us that he was shady as fuck. Cause we can't see his eyes. Why he being shady? They seemed rather busy when I passed by the galley, so I helped out a bit peeling potatoes for the midday meal. Cor, couldn't be more thankful. All the other lads were so happy too. A loverly young lass like yourself helping out. Lunch will be 100 times better than if this old sod had done the peeling. It's really hard to read that without the accent, so should have. Anyway, now they're just exaggerating. Right then, you too, young man. Save some room for the midday meal. I can do little but smile awkwardly as the crew members disperse with jolly waves. After the last of them saunter off, I turn to look up at Saint Germain's face. Helped out, did you? Is something wrong, Saint Germain? No. It just occurred to me that you've changed. Look at how soft and gentle he looks at us with just how his little, he's like, huh, and then he's like little eyebrows, just, oh. Even with gloves on, you used to be intimidated by things such as lending a hand with cookery. If I have changed, it's all thanks to you, not to mention the rest of our friends. After the confrontation, Spacey can read. After the confrontation with Idea, you were determined that I live, even if it meant sacrificing yourself. That's why I want to live up to your choice. I want to look toward the future together. I see. That is a most wonderful thing. Your perception of the world is growing broader with every passing day. Both of us fall silent, gazing out at the endless blue expanse of the ocean. God, stop! Stop letting Tim do this. Dazzling seas ebbs and flow, glinting in the sunlight. The dazzling sea ebbs and flows, glinting in the sunlight. I feel like that's a little bit. Anyway. The sparkling azure depths remind me strongly of the gem embedded in my chest. I do kind of like that we did this right after Impey, and we're back at the ocean. Woo! It's like all tying together. No, I'm just kidding. The horologium, source of my infinite energy. A cursed gem that even now pulses as a surrogate for my natural heart and beckons people unto their deaths. By rights, Idea should have destroyed this seed of calamity, and me along with it. But... oh! Him begging was just, so heart-wrenching. The painful sight of Saint Germain repudiating Idea's mandate to protect me will forever be burned into my memory. Just him, begging. Because he's so very calm and demure and very capable. And now he's like, no! The passion. The day we defeated Guinevere, most powerful of the apostles of Idea, Omnibus acquiesced to Saint Germain's desperate plea, showing us the slightest grace. Her condition was that we find a way I might live without the horologium. The truth of the matter is, Idea is simply turning us a temporary blind eye. If we're unable to find a way, all that awaits me is a cruel burial. The search for clues is a large part of why we travel from country to country, but... You mustn't look so melancholy. You've nothing to worry about. Did I not make my solemn promise that day? I will find a way to live with you. I know, but it's been a full year since we set out on this trip around the world. We haven't even the hint of a clue yet. It's hard not to worry faced with that fact. During our travels, we visited countless renowned physicians, yet all of them were unanimous in their opinion. Even the latest medical advances could not plumb the depths of the horologium. It will be fine. It's only been a year. If physicians fail us, there are other routes to follow. It's far too early to give up. I realize that, but... Besides, dear Spacey, perhaps you might think of it this way. Omnibus is able to see the future. If she augured your chances being zero, we would never have been afforded this opportunity. And indeed, she allowed us to act freely as we are now. Meaning, there is some sort of... oh, that's me. There's some sort of possibility? Yes. A future resting on a scant percentage Omnibus would usually ignore. Even if it does not yet present itself to us, it must exist somewhere. Yeah, Victor. Oh my god. Why does nobody ask Victor? Hey, Victor, do you think... yeah, I totally could have created a poison... what, you didn't ask? Come on. I have a feeling Victor's working in the background and he's going to come up and be like, oh, guess what I found? Just in the nick of time. I know. You're right. You are. Perhaps Saint Germain's words were intended mainly to ease my mind. But no matter how low the possibility may be, if the man I love says it exists, I believe him. I nod, shoring up my conviction. Saint Germain gently caresses my hair, his voice barely more than a whisper, but it's always barely more than a whisper the way I read it. And it's not as though traveling through these many countries has been without purpose for me, personally. Whilst visiting physicians, I've also been tracing his footsteps, and only one likely locale remains. His? I tilt my head quizzically, but Saint Germain only turns to look out over the ocean. After the ship arrives in France, we'll be making our way to Paris. Are we gathering information there? So we are. My manse is near the center of Paris as well. The city ranks alongside London as a metropolis replete with both people and information. With that said, I do plan on taking un petit détour first. A detour? Where? To see an old connection. Saint Germain's expression appears nostalgic, though I could tell he chooses his words carefully. As an apostle of idea, I safeguarded the history of mankind for untold thousands of years. In that span of time, your father Isaac Beckford may have been the greatest genius I ever knew. The appellation modern-day Prometheus was certainly not an overstatement. Prometheus, a Greek god of mythology, it is said that he advanced civilization by granting man fire from the heavens. Isaac, who advanced civilization dramatically, is often called the modern Prometheus. I love some of these are repeats of ones from the first game, obviously, but it's kind of like they're giving this to you in case you, one, forget, or if you're odd for some reason and didn't play the first game. You know what I mean? You kind of get the fill-in, but it would be weird to not play the first game. I think it kind of ruins it, but... However, in the long history of man, there have been minds that matched his, however few. The man I speak of is one of them. Saint Germain speaks tersely. Eyes open wide, he stares blankly out at the farthest reaches of the sea. I know that's Hermes, but Trismic... whatever. I can't French that. Dude, I can't do French. An apostle of idea, erstwhile, that is. I know it's not Hermes. I know it's like Hermes, but I can't pronounce... I know, like, that's not actually Tris. Is it tree? I don't remember. I don't know. I don't French. And French has lots of letters that you don't pronounce. So no, we can't do this. Whatever. Home slice Triscuits. There you go. Hermie Triscuits. Okay, that's his name now, Hermie Triscuits. There you go. An alchemist of legend who is said to have been the father of alchemy. He is knowledgeable in all fields of study, and some say he lived for several thousands of years and wrote tens of thousands of books. An ancient alchemist of such renown, it's said that to study the discipline is to know his name. Known as the father of the craft, more legends surrounded him than might be believed. Ugh! Why? No, don't give me his last name. I can do Hermes, but I can't do that. Triscuits achieved total omniscience. He penned over 35,000 books. He lived a lifespan of over 3,000 years. And so on. It cannot be said the man lacks for implausible tales attached to his name. I cannot profess to them all, but he was once an apostle of idea. Some of them are unmistakable fact. I wonder if he's the one that... Hey, it's that beginning scene where Impey and Lupin were in the forest together. And also where the villagers stoned us in the head. You know, it's the background we show. A few days pass, and we arrive safely at port, finally making landfall in France. Having procured an automobile, we head straight to our destination. Triscuit, legendary alchemist. I cannot pronounce his last name. Fuck you, game. Is Triscuits. Like, someone like that is a member of IDEA? More accurately, was, I suppose. It's been some time since he passed away. I narrow my eyes at this, my hands on the wheel of an automobile for the first time in quite a while. Oh, that's true, because we know how to drive. He's letting us drive! I know you account, but what the hell? Can't get your hands dirty on the wheel? He's probably like, I don't know how to drive. Like, You've been alive for thousands of years and you haven't learned how to drive yet? Jesus. As I understand it, all apostles of Idea have immortal bodies. How could he have passed away? Had Saint Germain failed to notice my quizzical look? Or did he simply ignore it? I just really love the fact that he's got his eyes open in this fucking path. I love it. I could not say as he continued in the same uneven cadence. Of all the innumerable souls I have known, he was the very greatest alchemist. And now he closes them, of course. Oh, there. Okay, he's just blinking. Even the greatest genius, Isaac, would have thought him an equal. Then again, his personality was rather freewheeling, you might say. Selfish, capricious. How many times was I made to bend to his whims? It hardly bears counting. I have a hard time imagining you bending to anyone's whims. When we met, I was still very green. Yeah, like as in literally dying. As we talk about this and that, we pass by several towns and villages, which eventually thin out into wilderness. A bit further ahead, Saint Germain beckons me to stop the vehicle, and I do. Our surroundings are wastelands as far as the eye can see. Nothing about our surroundings suggests human habitation, but... Is Triscuit's lab really somewhere in this heath? Yes, I'm certain of it. He has facilities dotted all across the world, and one of them is here. That said, I haven't returned to this place in some time. I do hope I can find it. I crane my head about our surroundings, joining Saint Germain in his search of the area. Everything looks to be wilderness, choked with thick foliage. At first blush, I can make out no sign of anything resembling a laboratory, but... here it is, here it is. Saint Germain opens his eyes wide in order to inspect cracks in a large boulder. Eventually, he thrusts his hand into one. After 2 or 3 minutes of fiddling with something inside, a faint sound echoes. Well, I mean, we should have just assumed. I mean, I assume when we came to the field, I'm like, it's going to be like an underground lab, like Isaac, except for there's no gravestones here, but giant rock. Suddenly, the earth around us begins to thrum and vibrate, and the boulder slowly shifts. When the great stone portal opens completely, it reveals a staircase stretching down into darkness. I should have expected this. Amazing! There's a laboratory underneath here? Come on, honey, come on. Absent-mindedly nodding at my questions, Saint Germain slits his eyes and looks down the stairs. Then he lowers his head and draws the sign of the cross over his chest. Hermes Triscuits, may your eternal soul rest in peace. I cannot fucking say that. Megistus, but like... It's not Tris. Is it Trismegistus? Well, no. Well, yeah, because Trois is Trois, right? That's Trois, right? For 3. And, like, so you don't pronounce... Because it's not Tris Megistus, which is what you would think with the letters, but it's not. I know it's not. Is it Trismegistus? Whatever, we're calling him Triscuits, because I can't. Someone provide that for me. It's not going to matter. By the time you see this, I'll be done with this path, and we'll have called him Triscuits through the whole thing. But whatever. The more you know, you know. Although I am quite sure he would say he has no need of prayer. This is unexpected. My assumption from the term apostle was that the members of Idea were deeply pious, like Saint Germain. Perhaps sensing my curiosity, he chuckles bitterly. There are 13 apostles after all. It stands to reason our personalities would differ. One raised in an empire for love. One craved a sense of belonging upon losing their family. One simply did not want to die. Amongst our number, it would not be out of line to label Triscuits heretical. He was less than gregarious about missions, and he would travel on a whim, ignoring Omnibus's summons. An irregular soul in every sense of the word. Ah, that man. It's extremely rare to hear Saint Germain reminisce about someone, especially with what might be called unreserved familiarity, perhaps? It even seems that he was talking about a friend. I was frankly astonished. Capricious, enjoys travel. Why, you could almost be talking about yourself. Goodness, I do beg your pardon. I keep my promises, as I'm sure you know. I find myself wondering more and more about what sort of relationship Saint Germain and Triscuits had. Someone's gonna be so mad at me for calling him Triscuits, but like, dude, we just gotta fill something in. Because they can't just call him Hermes. They can't. They gotta go by the fucking last names. Fuck you, game. Like, I love this game, but like, it's like, let's just be an asshole and throw this shit in there. I do not get the chance to ask, We begin to descend the stairs, heading down into the darkness. We don't call him Beckford, we call him Isaac. But why can't we call him Hermes? Why can't we just do that? Like, Hermie Triscuits. Navigating by touch, we feel our way down the stairs. At length, we arrive at a door and push it open. Well, this is not at all like the one in, yeah. Not at all. Although I do like the way, if you imagine the bookcase, if it was all built, I've just got that little, like, cubby hole thing in the side, in the middle there, and that one, that's like, which is really cute. Like, it's all it's all shelves, but then there's like this tiny little cute little rounded cubby hole. And I feel like you could look through that to the stairs, because you can see the stairs in the doorway to the right, like going up, and I just imagine that little cubby hole in the bookshelf. Like, all the rest of them have a back, but I just imagine that one being open. So you, like, put a little vase there, and so when you're walking upstairs, you're like, oh, look at my neat little vase. Like, just... Also because it's got white in the background. I don't know. I'm spending too much time looking at the backgrounds, but they're just really cool. A gust of fresh air from above rushes into the space beyond, mingling with the stagnant atmosphere of the strange room. What lay before our eyes was a dilapidated, dusty ruin. This space was Triscuits? It had been deliberately ransacked and destroyed. The damage was so severe it was impossible to tell if the space ever had been a research laboratory. In fact, so thoroughly had the underground space been gutted, it was difficult to imagine this was the work of one person. Did someone... This is almost certainly the handiwork of looters. If my memory of the lab serves, how predictable all items of value were gone. It looks to me like they tore out everything they could carry. We decided to have a thorough look around. Saint Germain's face is stern as he steps into the rubble. I follow, saying silent prayers as I rummage through the debris. Ragged scraps of paper and scribbled with notes are strewn about the wreckage. I make sure to check each one. And each one makes me frown. Almost everything I find is written in arcane, ancient scripts I can't decipher. I can't read any of this. This one is Akkadian, and the scroll is Hebrew. I'll translate the documents you can't read, so please concentrate on the ones you can. I will. You're like, none of them are in English, so I got nothing. Like, but what should I be looking for exactly? Anything about the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone? Hermie Triscuits was the only... Oh, that was Saint Germain. I was reading that as me. I know it's Hermes, but I'm just going to call him Hermie Triscuits because it's more fun that way. And Nara Sparkles the unicorn. Like, Hermie Triscuits was the only figure in history thought to have achieved the Philosopher's Stone. I had heard of the stone from Victor, though to be the ultimate form of matter, capable of... thought to be the ultimate form of matter, capable of birthing new souls and raising its bearer to the Echelions of the gods. Echelions of the gods? It's the ultimate goal of alchemy. Precisely what Isaac Beckford was bent on achieving. You're saying someone already discovered it? No. Hearsay is but hearsay. My first-hand experience tells me Triscuits never quite attained those heights. It's also fun to hear him say Triscuits. However, the fact that he was researching the Philosopher's Stone is well known to me. And as such, the fruits of his research will undoubtedly prove useful to us. I see. So that's why you brought us all the way here. Yes, in particular, I sought a jeweled plate said to be engraved with the great secrets of alchemy, the Emerald Tablet. Emerald Tablet! A tablet of emerald containing the secrets of alchemy carved into it from the legendary alchemist Triscuits. There's gonna be someone that's so fucking pissed off, like, stop calling them Triscuits! And like, I'm just, you know what? No, this is how we do things. We just make up words when we don't know them. I was tremendously keen on acquiring it, but this ransacking does not bode well. Well, yeah, because, like, I'm sorry. Even if you knew nothing about alchemy, you walk in and you're like, this thing is a giant tablet made of fucking emerald. Sell that shit. You know how much money that's worth? I mean, that's just a silly thing to carve alchemy on. Like, I'm going to carve it on this giant jewel. No one will ever steal it. Dude. So I wonder, okay, on the right, on the left-hand side, like that little window up there, like the little arch window, and you can see through, and it looks like there's like it literally looks like there's a window. What's it looking out to? Because I can't imagine that there's windows built into the rock, and you can actually see out. So this is really weird. It's just a window to, like, a rock. It's just a faux window. Can't imagine you can get any light through that. We spent many long hours scouring the ruined laboratory, but unsurprisingly, sorry. Unsurprisingly, the vast majority of its trappings have been looted. There are hardly any materials left with a connection to the Philosopher's Stone, nor even a hint of the Emerald Tablet. It gradually becomes clear that nothing left in the gutted laboratory will lead us to any sort of decisive knowledge. At length, we cease our investigation of the underground facility and leave empty-handed. Because you think it's a secret lab, so you don't think, like, all my really prized stuff I'm going to hide in a secret thing inside of, like, a secret shelf inside of a secret bookcase inside of a secret lab, because that just seems like overkill, but yet. We come back to the surface, dejectedly piling into the automobile. This time, Saint Germain takes the wheel. Oh, we can drive. I blankly watch the scenery sail by, feeling little save the subtle vibration and sway of the automobile. Saint Germain, what are we going to do now? For the nonce, we shall follow our original plan and make for Paris. While we gather information in the city, I suppose we shall also have to rethink our plan. I nod in agreement and glance at the horologium in my chest as I do. Yeah, you kind of could. Even as dusk paints the world a fiery red, the toxic gem shines as brilliantly blue as always. My surrogate heart, that may one day cause disaster. I'd hoped we might find some sort of clue here, but alas. So dramatic. Oh, look at his sweet smile. Dear Spacey. I'm fine. A little setback like this isn't nearly enough to get me down. You said it before we arrived in France. There has to be a chance. Indeed, there must be. I like how, though, when he was, like, in the very beginning, like, his hair in the back was longer because he had the long braid and he had the shorter front, and now it's, like, longer in the front bangs and then shorter in the back. He just, like, reversed it, like. I sigh, which does not escape Saint Germain's notice. He turns to me with a broad, genuine smile. But dear Spacey, are you not exhausted, body and soul? I'll rouse you when I spot an inn, so it's quite all right if you'd like to doze until then. All right. Thank you, Saint Germain. I'll take you up on that. There's no way I wouldn't be able to. No, I'll stay up. Passed out. I can't. I cannot be in a car for long periods. If I'm driving, it's different. But, like, if I'm in the passenger seat, or I'm sitting there like, la la, yeah, roach, passed out. I don't know what it is. Cars make me tired. And I don't think my parents ever did that, like, you wouldn't sleep as a baby, we drove you around, but they should have. Because, damn, I can fall asleep like nobody's goddamn business in a car. I would just be sitting there and you're driving and you're like, yeah, I had a fun time. Yeah, what's an hour drive back? Cool. Like, I passed out in 5 minutes. Or I'm like, oh, God. I don't know how I do long car trips either because, like, I don't know how I drove to Florida, like, 10 hours. Frickin' A. Because, like, 2 hours into a normal drive, I'm like, I'm ready to fall asleep. Because, like, it makes me tired. I mean, it is hard sometimes even driving. Like, it's really hard. You're like, I'm going to fall asleep. Like, but I think it's because I woke up at the crack of dawn, so you're like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning! And then driving at night, I have to be wide awake because I don't drive well at night. I don't see well at night. It's scary. So you're like, I'm wide awake. Oh, my God. And then by the time the sun comes up and you're like, okay, now I'm getting bored, you're like, oh, good, I'm almost there. Anyway. Soon after my suggestion, I began to hear this. Oh, that's Saint Germain. Soon after my suggestion, I begin to hear the soft, even breathing of deep sleep from the seat beside me. I glance over at her as I drive, and am struck by her innocent, sleeping face. She pored over arcane documents all day, yet ultimately learned nothing. She must be truly exhausted, not only in mind and body, but also spirit. My goodness, look at her asleep and defenseless. I have a powerful urge to kiss her, but she would undoubtedly wake. Disturbing the princess in her slumber would be inelegant. Also, you're driving, and you shouldn't kiss someone while driving. Well, that was vexing. To think looters had completely stripped the lab. Triscuits, it would seem your penchant for confounding people continues from beyond the grave. The wind is in my hair as I look up at the scarlet-stained sky. In truth, our failure to gain information at the laboratory may have been a foregone conclusion. He probably isn't overly enthused about helping the man who killed him. I take out the urge to chastise myself on the steering wheel. The autos swerve sharply. These skies, they never change. Oh my god, so Saint Germain killed Triscuits? Saint Germain? He was such a good friend and I loved him so much, but I had to stab him. So, I mean, it's not the first. He and I exchanged words here long ago. Could have been under this very sky. I mean, you know, technically the sky does never change except for like the clouds change, but the sky's always the sky. Aegistus. I don't know if that's how you say it, but whatever. Are you listening, Triscuits? Oh, Iskits. Iskits. That's what it was. It was him saying his name in the middle. Oh, God, I just got that. Wow, I'm slow. Oh, I wondered who that was. You, eh? What is it that causes you to frown so, nameless slave child? Stop calling me that, please. I haven't been a nameless slave child since the day Idea took me in. Oh, how could I forget? What do you call yourself now? Saint, was it? What a wonderful name it is. You should give thanks to whomever parental figure it was who dubbed you thus. With no hint of sarcasm, he seems to think it is a fine name. Or so Triscuit's countenance betrayed, as he nods in satisfaction. I'm fairly burst with thanks. Indeed, I would like to strike said parental figure in the face. How fortunate that he is here. Your feelings of affection run rather hot, I see. Triscuit shrugs his shoulders, and I sigh so deeply, I'm sure he hears it. Putting all that aside, look at what you're doing to us all. You haven't responded to the summons in some time. Where have you been? I was merely taking a sabbatical to visit a certain desert land. The development of cities is surprisingly educational. With this, Triscuit turns his back to me, and I can only sigh again. I feel so bad that we keep calling him Triscuits, but they keep putting his name in the damn thing, and I can't fucking read it. I can't. It's gonna be wrong, so we're going as far wrong as we can get. Hermie Triscuits, the figure known as the father of alchemy. In countless documents and screeds, he is revered as a saint, or even a god, but I should be pleased to have words with the authors. A man who thrusts duties assigned to him as an apostle of Idea upon me simply because he doesn't feel like attending to them. A man who disappears on a whim, cutting off contact as he does God knows what. Is such a man worthy of being called a saint? So, what business have you with me? If you're here to scold, I do not feel like entertaining it. As much as I wish that were the case, it is a different matter. I pause and narrow my eyes, wearing a gravely serious expression. I gather you've been researching the... Oh, that's me. Whoops, sorry. I gather you've been researching the Philosopher's Stone. The jewel of the gods, imbued with untold power, capable of granting immortality. You cannot claim to know nothing of this. Do I know of it or not? I hardly plan on hiding it. The realization of the Philosopher's Stone is the most ardent desire of all alchemists. Let us say I am researching it. Would that strike you as odd? It is as you say. The Philosopher's Stone is something all alchemists research. I doubt even Omnibus regards simple dabbling in the taboo as something to concern her. Then? But Triscuits, you are no common alchemist. Your intelligence and knowledge, there exists the very real possibility you may divine the method of creating the stone. Omnibus is concerned about that. Well, well, it seems I have been vastly overestimated. This is no laughing matter. At this rate, you'll be a target of elimination. I grit my teeth and continue on, but Triscuits merely grins in satisfaction. Might you actually be concerned about me? Hardly. To me, you were only the man who razed my birthplace to the ground. If you were to die, I might break into a jig from the sheer joy of it. I just hardly see Saint Germain jigging. My, you certainly have come to say the most deplorable things. You used to have a touch more decorum. Whose influence could this be, I wonder? If you don't already know, I envy how blissfully unaware you are. Triscuits grins broadly at this, then picks up his train of thought. Allow me to return to the discussion at hand. My answer is no. So, you have no intention of ceasing your research into the Philosopher's Stone, I take it. I find this difficult to understand. The stone may grant immortality, but what use is that to we who are apostles? Well, by that reckoning, yes, it would be of little use. But I made a promise to a certain someone, you see. This is no longer research to please only myself. Are you telling me it's worth risking your life for the sake of another? And yet, this is funny because that's exactly what Saint Germain fucking does, huh? I am indeed. Cheap life, though it is, worn down to the bone after so many thousands of years. No, I understand this not at all. It's strange enough for us to speak about life at all, but there is nothing more valuable than one's own life. No, not necessarily. For example, a lover or family member. As we live this life, all of us come to know at least one person we consider to be as important as ourselves. Yes, even you, I am sure, will one day... And he's like, damn, he was right. Woo, Paris is pretty. The buzzing and murmur of the crowd rises and falls like waves amidst the vibrant cityscape of Paris. It seems almost everyone we pass is smiling. Tempting aromas tickle my nose. I assume the many restaurants lining the boulevard are to blame. So this is the capital of France. It's pretty. Look at all the flowers everywhere. One day had passed since we departed the ruins of Triscuit's lab. Saint Germain's expert automobile handling had brought us here quickly, and my eyes were immediately assailed by wonders. What do you think? Does the Cité des Fleurs live up to its name? Fleurs. Cité des Fleurs. I can't speak French, guys. Live up to its name. As the appellation suggests, the city of Paris fairly blooms with art and culture. Quite different from the steam-powered streets of London, wouldn't you say? Yes, both cities seem to be about the same size, but I'm amazed how completely different they feel. The roads are so well maintained, the shops are so unique, even the citizens carry themselves differently. There's no steam erupting from vents, nor the echoing sounds of rumbling machinery. Compared to the raucous and lively streets of London, the boulevards of Paris are graceful and refined. That's so Saint Germain, like... you see him in, like, London, everyone's like, and he's like... Lupin's got the little flair for the, like, elegantness, right? I'm so precious and beautiful. But, right then, let's have a brief stroll about the city and then head for the mansion, shall we? Please do be careful not to get separated from me. If you're concerned, I would not be averse to holding hands. I'm afraid I have to wholeheartedly refuse. I have no idea what you might try if I let my guard down. Hold his motherfucking hand. They should give you choices like hold his hand, hold his hand. Definitely hold his hand, or yeah, sure, hold his hand. So it's like, doesn't matter what you choose, it's the same thing. I follow Saint Germain, who strides off with a faint chuckle. His steps are sure. Clearly he knows the city well. Coming alongside him, I ask, how long did you live here in Paris? It must have been a while if you keep a mansion here too. If you live as long as I do, people grow suspicious. I have changed identities many, many times. I was a priest, a baker. All told, I must have spent 300 years here, give or take. That's so cute. I just imagine him as a baker. That's adorable. I want to see Saint Germain the baker. I just want to see a CG of him in like his little like, like, and obviously he started with nothing, and he's obviously like worked up to the money he had. You know what I mean? They didn't just give him money. He's like created it for himself. Like after thousands of years, of course he's fucking rich if you think about it. I don't know. I just think it'd be interesting to see CGs of him and all his prior selves. Now that I think of it, Paris may well be the city I've lived longest in. I'm getting that sense. The graceful and cultured Saint Germain seems right at home amongst the Parisian splendor. No, he is right at home. And so I make a suggestion. How about you show me around the city then, like you did London? You're sort of like a teacher, you know. You're very good at showing people things. Honey, wait till you get rid of that poison. Oh, did I say that out loud? You're too kind. As you wish, my lady. Although I must say, thinking of us as teacher and student is most unfortunate. If you would but permit, I should much prefer to escort you as your lover. That would be, go easy on me. I find it hard to meet his insistent gaze and inadvertently look away, because she's all, oh, God bless you. Lover, he said. Such a warm, lovely, and somehow embarrassing word. Well, yeah, because it doesn't, I mean, It really should imply like it's the person that you were in love with, like your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other, your partner. But in like most contexts, people are like your lover is person that you're having sex with. And it's like, obviously not, but it's such a more innocent word than it really comes across sounding. It sounds so much sexier than it should be, really, if you think about it. Doing my utmost to withstand the sudden quickening of my heart, I extend a hand, which Saint Germain takes reverently. Shall we be off then, my sweet, sweet darling, belonging to me and only me? Oh, look at this. I can't read any of that. I'm not going to bother because it's all in French. Des poissons rouges. Isn't poisson fish? The red fish? Is that what that is? The fucking red fish? It's weird. We've visited more than a few large cities during our tour of Europe, but I can't think of another metropolis this vast save London. After walking the Avenue des Champs-Élysées... I know how to say Champs-Élysées. I know how to say that. I know that's the Arc de... I know it's the, Arc de Triomphe, but I don't know... I can't do the rest of that. Finished only 20 years ago lies ahead. Champs-Élysées Avenue, okay. A main street located in the northwest of Paris, France. It runs from the Palace de la Concorde with the obelisk in the east to the, the place de... I can't... The Toit? No, that's not it. I don't know. With the Arc de Triomphe in the west. And this is the Arc, okay, a large structure of Paris, France, conducted by order of Napoleon Bonaparte in celebration of France's victory in the Battle of Austerlitz. Sure. Stop throwing French words at me! Damn it! Then on to the Louvre Museum, a massive artwork in itself. See? Louvre. Nah, that's not what that said. American people can't read French. I can't. I don't know French at all. I did not take French in high school. Following Saint Germain's escort, I gradually make my way around the center of the city. It's wonderful and so curious the way buildings old and new are all mixed up together. The city has a long history, as does London, though its conversion to a steel metropolis changed everything. Paris, however, is quite different. It is a city that developed by keeping the old alive. Whenever my eyes are drawn by something, Saint Germain explains it well. He seems to enjoy watching me gape at the city intently as we walk. Be that as it may, with my initial amazement subsided, I look over the cityscape of Paris once more. Different cities breed different attitudes in their citizens, it would seem. The passers-by who come and go carrying themselves with effortless grace and elegance. The men don stately top hats, the tails of their frock coats swaying gallantly, and the ladies on their arms dazzling the eye in their stunning chemise gowns. Compared to them, my standard garb is altogether standard. On the other side of the boulevard, I spot a pair of sweethearts meeting up and watch as they clasp hands. Seeing them greet each other with warm kisses on the cheek is heartwarming and more than a little enviable. Oh dear, is something the matter? Oh no, I was just thinking that Paris is full of beautiful people. Including Saint Germain, of course. God, yeah, no, right? Jesus. It's not even a CG, it's literally just showing a sprite, and you're like, it's still beautiful. Cutting a striking figure in his urbane coat, he would not look out of place amongst the Parisian aristocracy. I mean, he technically is, right? No, in fact, he would put them to shame if the longing glances he receives from the ladies who pass us by are any indication. Dressed like a boy as I am, I suddenly feel uncomfortable walking by his side. Everyday protection. An outfit immune to the poison created by Victor after his thorough analysis of the heroine. There are many spares of the same outfit. I know he couldn't have made us, different clothes. Instead of, let's just make 15 of these shirts. Why is he, I have the same outfit. I can never change. He should have made us other clothes. He could have made different shirts and pants, that we could mix and match. Obviously, we'd never see them, but still. It is for move and convenience, so he never would have made us a dress, but... Unconsciously, I slow my pace, putting distance between Saint Germain and I. Just as I was about to stop entirely... That will not do, dear Spacey. Oh! I've seen this CG. I have. I've seen it on Google. Look at how adorable his fucking precious face is. What? Separating from your lover without his express permission. My, what a naughty girl you are. This calls for a bit of chastisement. Oh my god, Spacey can't read. Chastisement, I should think. Saint Germain's hand had been resting on my hip, and now it draws me in. Ooh. Hey, wait a minute. I will not. It is adorable seeing you so charmed by the scenery, but rather than buildings and passers-by, I much prefer you be charmed by me. He's so jealous, though. It's like innocent and adorable, like, you're talking about our friends, but they can't kiss you like this. And he's like, stop thinking about our friends. I'm jealous of them. Stop looking at the buildings. I'm jealous of them. He's jealous of a lot of things. Comes across as sweet and charming, but, deep down inside, he's like, don't look at the buildings like that. Our hands intertwine, our chests pressed together. I can feel him, even through the barrier of our clothing. Saint Germain grasps me tightly, almost in the manner of a formal dance. Saint Germain, please. It's so embarrassing. No, no. You've nothing whatsoever to be embarrassed about, my dear. The woman I love is more beautiful than any Parisian? That's Parisian, right? Isn't that what you call people from Paris? Parisians? Whatever. Parisians strolling the boulevards. That's not what I meant. Right here in the middle of the street? And your face is much too close. Holding me as tightly as he is, it's no wonder our faces are so close. So close, in fact, that our bangs are touching. So close that I can even feel the heat of his skin. To me, being this close to someone is more terrifying than anything. Please, let me go. Don't do this here. Oh! Ah! And he opens his eyes. It doesn't bother me. What? I feel a gentle tickling against my ear. His breath like sweet poison. Just as the pair of lovers you saw greeting each other earlier did. Perhaps we should exchange kisses as well. You noticed me looking at them? Yes, of course. I also noticed your lips trembling with desire as you did. As if his dreadfully tempting words were not enough, Saint Germain brings his lips even closer. I'm sure I made it clear. I'm the one person in the world you may touch as much as you like. It's not just now, it's always. I don't want my poison to injure him or cause him pain. Saint Germain's smile is almost cloying, indicating perhaps that it makes him happy. Perhaps he wants me to remember the sinful sweetness of touching him and hurting him. Sensations of heat rush through my body. I have to say something. Just as I open my mouth to do so, what? The sudden small impact brings me back to my senses. Ugh, cock blocked. Saint Germain's like, fucking A, cock blocked. Ow! We're gonna end this part here, though. So, now that, because Saint Germain just got cock blocked by a kid. He got kid blocked. It's actually kiss blocked, but still. I am going to wrap this part up here. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.